2 days till we leave. Let's see if this thing starts. I already cranked it for a little bit just to see if we got oil pressure, and it's making some. So, no coolant. Let's see what we got. Yeah, buddy. She runs. We good. What is up, Rad Potential YouTube? Welcome to today's video. We got to go on a first drive of the Rotary truck. Went on a little mountain bike trip. And I say trip. I just went and did my weekly ride. But we went on a little mountain bike ride. Truck ran awesome. Let's go see how it drove. Guys, you literally can't even hear this thing running. It's so quiet. You can hear my exhaust leak spit over anything else. Alright guys, the truck performed flawlessly on its first drive. Super stoked. Look at that. Not even leaking. How about that for the win? If you guys are fit and able, or want to be fit and able, get out on a bike. Exercise. Choose your hard. It's hard to be fit. It's also hard to be out of shape. Let's go back to the house. We're back from the test drive. The thing ran flawless. All the way there, all the way back. Honestly, I think my truck is a piece of junk. The exhaust is so quiet that I can now hear every squeak and every rattle that this truck has. And honestly, I'm not too enthused about that. I might prefer to be overbearingly, or overbearing. I might prefer to be riding in a super loud truck and not hear all the squeaks than have a quiet truck with the squeaks. So we went ahead and I fabricated, you're like, why did we make it quiet? We haven't seen this yet. Okay, so I fabricated a slip-on exhaust system for the truck. Basically, the exhaust setup on this truck, as it were, was a Racing Beat road race header, which is the long to a single outlet header, a straight pipe to a 2.5-inch rotor muffler right behind the axle, and that was all that I had. And my typical like favorite exhaust setup is that. It's what's on the silver car, it's what's on this. It's loud, it's throaty-ish, it's not terribly raspy, but it gives you enough tone, and those mufflers take a beating. So I exploded a chambered muffler on this truck in 3 months when I first put the truck together like 5 years ago, and blew it up, blew a big fist-sized hole in it. Just all the backfires and the rotaries too hot. So that was the setup. Well, when we're going to Formula Drift, this thing's gonna be way too loud for me to sit in the truck for like 3.5 hours of driving. So I went ahead and fabricated a slip-on piece that is gonna quiet it down. So I've got this MagnaFlow muffler that I had laying around here. As you can see right there, there's a little hook on it that I've hooked into the frame rail here, the end of my hitch frame rail. And then the other side simply clamps on over the end of the rotor muffler. It wasn't too hard to make, pretty easy deal. And I'm just gonna, you know, when we get to Formula Drift, when we get to car shows now that I have to drive a long way for, I'm simply gonna unclamp it and unhook it and throw it in a bed, and then I can be really loud when I drive in the car show, but I don't have to kill my ears all the way there. Kidneys, guys. Use your brains. Okay, and the tips, honestly, dudes, the tips look pretty cool. This is like Need for Speed carbon muscle car exhaust tips. So, pretty stoked for that. We've got the wheels. I need to know what your thoughts are on the wheels. I really don't like them, but they have good tires on them. I like my wagon wheels. These are 14s, mine are 15s. Mine have a little bit more offset, so mine like poke a little bit more, which I like the look of, but comment below. I'm not going to keep them, but I just want to know your thoughts. Do we change the wheels up on the truck in the future or not? So, in addition to all of that stuff that we've done, you saw it started right up. Okay, the thing's been running great. Didn't have too many issues. We got the coolant bled. I got the fuel system hooked up. I got all the throttle cable stuff hooked up. I had to reconfigure my power brakes here, which is just kind of chilling for now. I need to put some zip ties on that. But I've never had, or I say I never had, I had power brakes in this truck when I was running a 4-port with this lower intake manifold. It's got a fitting for it. But when I switched to that T2 block to break it in, and I was going to put a turbo on this truck and go fuel injection, I didn't have a booster because on an S4 T2, the actual booster port is, I don't have one handy, but the booster port is in the top part of that manifold, not the lower intake manifold. So I am missing a belt, which I need to pick one up, but we're really not beating on it, just breaking it in. So one belt will be fine. And honestly, guys, we got no oil leaks, which is a huge plus. I had oil leaks before. It's not bubbling and pushing any coolant. Everything's good there. And it's just clean in here now. It looks so good, guys. I'm just stoked at how clean it is. I kind of, like I said, I call it the neglected truck because it was pretty neglected until now. We kind of overhauled it. So the next bits that I've got to do. It's been a long week, guys. Words and stuff are hard. So I've got to clean the inside of the truck. It's a little dirty, as you see. It's been sitting. It does leak a little bit of water in here. I won't necessarily, I guess I can show you underneath my carpet, but let's just say that I have some custom speed holes in this thing. The passenger side's not as bad, so if you do ever ride in this truck, which none of y'all probably will, but my friends that watch these videos, if you ever ride in the truck, know that you're safer than me, because the driver's side, well, let's just say we got some rust over here. I've got holes that I just have some sheet metal kind of just laying on. See my sheet metal? And by holes, I mean like these are like holes, guys. If it's super rainy, water comes like up your leg. It doesn't drip down the door onto your leg. It like comes out of the floor up your leg, which is real unfortunate. You know, water up your pants is never good. So what do I have left to fix now? What we have left to do in the remainder of the video. Okay, the only thing that I think I'm going to address besides cleaning the inside of the truck is my hood is broken. If you saw in the very first neglected rotary truck video, I called this out. And it looks like somebody's tried to fix it before, a pretty bad job. So typically on a rotary truck, there's two hood options, okay? Or I guess we'll say hood prop options. One, the early 74s had this, which is this bar right here. It locks in place and holds the hood up, nice open space. The other option, which Calvin's rotary truck has and the blue truck has, if you go back on the channel, I'll link the video here. If you're a rotary truck guy, you got to go check out the blue truck we restored for Charles. Anyways, the blue truck has a torsion spring system, okay? So it's a rod that spins and it holds the hood up via the rotational rigidity, the torsional rigidity of the bar, and then you have, it's springy. The spring hoods, okay, don't break if you have a spring on it. These style hoods, they'll rust right here by these bolts, just like mine, and then they'll actually break the hood. And you can see where mine's split right here, and I have a nice bend, and you can see when I move this, see how it moves and flexes right there? So these are not ideal. Now, I've never changed it, so I'm gonna go ahead and grind this smooth, cut a small piece of flat stock, just a couple little bars, and just weld a bar or something right in there to stiffen that up. I think that's the only thing. If this is going to sit at the car show and wiggle around, I mean, you can just see how much flexure is going on in here, and it is really not ideal, and that thing's pretty busted up, and maybe we're going to kind of open up a bigger can of worms than I really want to, which is probably going to happen, and I doubt that these bolts are going to just come out, so maybe we leave that for another time. But anyways, that's the truck in its current state. I've been pretty stoked this week, cranking on this truck, and just getting stuff done, getting stuff serviced, cleaned and greased the front wheel bearings, inspected all my brakes, made sure everything was good in that regard. We've got all the tires, lug nuts torqued down, switched out some of the lug nuts so they fit better. I actually have still a 5-lug side and a 6-lug side because this side's got some broken studs on it. Or do I have, yeah, see, I'm missing a stud there, and I'm missing one up in that one. So the left side of my truck's been 5-lug swapped. And then the only other thing that I need to do, and it just started leaking on this last drive, which kind of irks me, is I need to pop my, it's slick. I need to take my oil pressure gauge off. It's leaking in the back, which don't ever run a mechanical gauge like permanently on your car unless you have like a -3 or -4 metal hardline to it. And even then, I wouldn't want to run that gauge inside your car because if it starts leaking, hot oil on your legs, not a good ticket. So the only thing too that kind of sucks for this road trip, I don't think it's forecasted to rain, but I don't have working wipers right now. I got everything else working, but not that. So not a huge big deal, but still inconvenient nonetheless. So that's where we stand, guys. Stoked to see all the, I guess I say all the rotary cars. Probably, comment down below. Okay, this would be a great thing here. Great thing. Okay, comment down below how many rotary cars there are going to be at Formula Drift in the car show or competing. Comment down below. My guess, you have me, Kyle Mohan for Scherzies, and I bet there's 7. 7 total rotary cars. So, me, Kyle Mohan, and 5 others that show up in the car show. I'm not counting in the parking lot. Doesn't count. Put it in the show. Do whatever. This thing is in the show. And that one, whatever, Pass Mag thing, like, posted it on their Instagram and stuff. So, hey, not saying that the rotary truck's famous, but the rotary truck... You guys are loving the video, so I'm stoked you guys love the videos on this thing. So let's tidy up a few more things. Ooh. All right, guys, we have fixed the hood, and as you saw, we swapped the lower oil line fitting for the front oil cooler. So I'm gonna leave you guys off there. The hood, still a little flexy, but much more solid. I welded the new piece directly to this bracket. I didn't think that those 2 bolts would come out anyways. So it's just one piece for now. There's a lot more rust going on right there than I can really fix. And I had to make sure to keep my paint cool because I didn't want to burn my paint off. So with that, guys, thank you very much for watching. If you're going to Formula Drift St. Louis, I will see you guys there. And get stoked to check out the truck. And I'll be stoked to see some drift cars as I walk into the darkness. So with that, guys, we'll see you in the next one. Keep it rad. Come on. Come here. You gotta say bye to everybody. Were you sleeping? You say bye? You sit? You jump? Oh, bye-bye. Peace, guys.